Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Expansive Conversations with Dr. Nkem. This is season 2, episode 2. Today we're talking about something that many high-performing professionals experience but don't always articulate clearly, and that's the relationship between identity and achievement. Because over time, as we grow into our careers and begin to achieve more, it becomes very easy for what we do to start defining who we are. Our titles, our results, and our progress don't just describe our work, they begin to shape our sense of self. And for a while, that feels like progress, right? Achievement gives us direction, recognition enforces our efforts, and success creates a sense of momentum. It feels like everything is working, but then gradually, something begins to shift. We stop asking ourselves what we truly want, and we start focusing almost entirely on what comes next. There's always another goal, another milestone, another expectation to meet. At that point, achievement is no longer just something we pursue, it becomes something we rely on to feel grounded. That is where the tension truly begins, because achievement is not stable. It is constantly moving, constantly evolving, and constantly demanding more. When our identity is tied to something that never settles, we also begin to feel unsettled. That is why many high achievers experience a quiet sense of pressure, even when things are going well. Externally, everything may look successful, but internally, there is a constant need to maintain, to prove, and to keep up with the version of ourselves that has been built over time. It becomes less about growth, and it truly becomes more about sustaining an identity that is tied to performance. That can be exhausting because it means that the rest starts to feel uncomfortable. Slowing down starts to feel very risky. And at any moment where we're not producing, that can feel like we're losing ground. At some point, most professionals are forced to confront a deeper question, and that is, who am I when I am not achieving? Not in theory, but in reality. When things slow down, when there is a pause, or when results are not immediate, what remains? For many of us, that question is not easy to answer because we were never taught to separate who we are from where and what we accomplished. We were taught to achieve, to perform, and to progress, but not necessarily to build a stable sense of identity outside of those outcomes. That is why this shift is so very important. We have to learn how to separate self-worth from productivity and to understand that our value is not something that increases or decreases based on what we produce. It is something that just exists independently of our performance. This does not mean that we lose ambition or that we stop striving for excellence. It simply just means that our ambition becomes more grounded. We begin to pursue goals from a place of clarity rather than pressure. When identity is stable, achievement becomes so much healthier. We're able to grow without constantly needing validation, and we're able to rest without feeling like we're falling behind. We also begin to experience success, and we begin to experience that differently, not just something that looks impressive from the outside, but as something that feels aligned on the inside. Because at the end of the day, achievement will always change. There will be always another level to reach, another goal to pursue. But identity is something that we have to choose to ground ourselves in. Otherwise, we spend our lives chasing something that never fully settles. I want to leave you with these 5 things. We are not what we achieve, but we live like we are. Achievement is constantly moving, but identity needs to be grounded. You can grow without tying your worth to outcomes. Real success feels aligned, not just impressive. Stability comes from who you are, not what you achieve. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.